One Friday Fights 113 just took place about 24 hours ago. It was a fantastic fight card, brutal knockouts all around, only with two decision wins on the fight card. We're going to break this fight card down next in Fighting with Friends. Yo, what's up? Welcome back to my podcast. Gaia, still in my pajamas and what have you. Gonna do a nice recap of One Friday Fights 113. Let me bring it up on the screen. There we go, and get that ticket tape nice and running. All right, this was a fantastic fight card. Although there were two fights that were pulled from the card due to fighters not making weight, the fight card still went on, and then they had a fantastic show. And I mean, the amount of fights that took place, you just count it quickly: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bouts. And of that 11 bouts, there were only 1, 2, 3 decisions in total. So 2, 1, yeah, 3 decisions in total. That is absolutely insane considering the amount of fights that happened and how they all finished literally within the first 2 rounds. The fights that did get finishes ended within the first 2 rounds. So like we do as always, we'll start at the top of the card where we saw Donking power puncher taking on another power puncher, Yodlekpet. I'd say the OG power puncher in one championship. The dude's built like a freaking truck. You know that saying goes around when in the fight game when someone's built like a truck, they hit extremely hard. That's exactly what Yodlekpet does. He ended this fight literally within the first round, within the first minute and a half. Donking didn't look too bad at all. Right? The dude was standing in there. He had the speed peppering that jab. He was landing very consistently. But none of those shots were really stopping Yodlekpet from doing what he does. I know in the preview I said that if it gets into a boxing match, into a bit of a strike fest, like not strike fest, a slug fest, I think Yodlekpet's going to win the fight hands down. But if Donking can use the footwork and the jab and the kicks and stay on the outside, he stands a very good chance of winning. Granted, he was doing that in the fight. He was peppering that jab. He was going down to the body, kicking Yodlekpet every time he entered. He was doing the right things, but Yodlekpet was just so tough and durable. And one thing that Yodlekpet did really well in this fight was he introduced a lot of hard low kicks and body kicks. Not so much body kicks, but hard low kicks. Pardon me, snapping at the legs. Pardon me, chopping down Donking. And I think that was a very good tactic from Yodlekpet because then it set up his handwork, which that's what he does best. He can knock you out quite easily. So once he set up that low kick, this bottom low kicks, it forced Donking to get involved into a bit of a fisticuff exchange. And when they were doing that, Yodlekpet just landed one left hook, fast, quick snapping in the void, and it was almost like a delayed reaction from Donking. There was like a 2-second delay where he got punched and then he was still stepping back and then just crumbled to the ground, and then there you go, he got knocked out. Basically couldn't make the 8 count, completely finished. Yodlekpet, dude's an animal. He punches really hard, but I do believe in that flyweight Muay Thai division. When you go up the rankings, let me see if I can just pull the rankings up for you quickly. But when you go up the rankings in that flyweight division, especially in the Muay Thai, I kind of feel that Yodlekpet gets outclassed. That he's got a lot of power. I don't think a lot of the guys match his power in the flyweight division. I don't think they really match his power at all. Let's go to the rankings. However, where he does get caught or where he does lose is when athletes are faster, rangier, footwork, and making Yodlekpet chase in shadows. You know what I mean? That's when he starts getting beaten. And a lot of the guys that are in that top 5, top 6 of the flyweight Muay Thai division fight exactly like that. And I think that's why Yodlekpet just doesn't, he just doesn't make it. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Zhao Suyai beat Yodlekpet? Yeah, knocked him out. You know what I mean? And and Zhao Suyai is not nearly the sort of density of Yodlekpet in terms of that power and muscle that he carries. But Zhao Suyai was able to knock him out. And that was due to just velocity, a lot of volume, a lot of footwork, good counter striking, overwhelming pressure. He just basically had Yodlekpet inactive and couldn't really do anything. And that's why I feel like a lot of I'm going to bring it up on screen for you to see quickly. Let's just quickly do that. Just so you can kind of see the rankings with me. There we go. But that's what I'm referring to is if you look at that division, right? All of those guys there, and there's a number of other fighters as well. But I'm bringing up the top 5 in particular because Yodlekpet has been fighting in the One Championship. He's got already 13 fights under his name in the organization. So he should be contacted at this point, right? If you think about Yodlekpet and you think about the guys you see on screen, all of them will outclass Yodlekpet. They won't outpower him, but they will outclass him for sure, and that's why they will all beat him. They will definitely take him through the rounds and put on a clinic, right? Because Yodlekpet, not time to finish the guys' skill set, right? But like I said in the preview, a lot of puzzles to think about. Other than that he's going to hit you really hard, he's going to chop at your legs, and that's going to set up some hooks, some straights here and there. He doesn't have the longest of reach, but that's why I say it's like you kind of know what you're going to get when he comes at you. It's just a matter of what are you going to do about it, right? And I think the elite fighters know what to do about it. Everyone else outside of that top 5, top 10, I think Yodlekpet puts in a good fight against most of those guys. But dude, what amazing performance from him. If I'm thinking about who he should be getting next, I would say give him one of the young lads, the Kuluzadas, the Istupanan guys. There's a lot of flyweight contenders that are out there that are willing to fight. And I think Yodlekpet should be fighting for a contract next to him, I'm being honest. Not just because he won this fight in such a fantastic fashion, but if you look at his career in the One Championship, he's been knocking people out. That's what he does, right? So I think if he goes on another streak, if he goes on maybe puts another 2 more wins together, I think they should give him a contract. If you ask me who we should be fighting next, I would say give him Superlek. That would be a banger. That would be an absolute banger, and it also would set up Yodlekpet for a potential contract fight. So I would say, considering that Superlek is fighting on fighting on fight nights, he's not even contracted. He's fighting on fight nights. So I would say let that fight happen, But yeah, in a nutshell, I think Yodlekpet definitely deserved the bonus, deserved the performance, and I think people should give him his flowers. Personally, I think he should be getting his flowers for his progression. Let's put it that way. But he's just outside of that top 5 for me. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. As for Donking, the dude was on a streak up until that fight. He lost. I still think he's got the talent. I still think he's got it in there. He just went up against someone that can knock out anybody. And I don't think Donking should be holding his head down for this performance. I think he fought against someone that can literally knock out anybody. So, yeah, he should hold his head high, come back, and I think there's something in there. I think there's definitely something in him, and I'm keen to see what he's all about going into the future. But then let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you make of that one. In the meantime, we're going to move on to the co-main event, which was a rematch between Deco versus Isanu. I keep saying his name wrong. Isanu. Right? Isanua. There we go. This was a rematch, and I'm gonna do a bit of a hot take on this one. Just bear with me. But I think in this fight there was a rematch and great fight, right? Barn burner, back and forth between the two guys. I did think that Isanua was winning. I do believe that he was landing the better shots. There was a moment where he got cracked hard with an elbow that pretty much busted up his nose. And that was ending in the first round. But I still think that he won that first round. I still think he was landing more strikes. Granted, he was on the back foot. He was the one that was on the back foot for the whole of the fight, actually. There was never really any moment in the fight where Isanua was actually on the one that was on the front foot and he was dictating the pace. He was fighting on the back foot the whole time. But he was landing consistently. A lot of combinations. He had Deco's face also pretty much beaten up. Come at the end of the fight. Good elbows in the exchanges. And I think that it was back and forth. But the forward pressure and momentum from Deco was, I think, did tip it into his favor a little bit, right? Granted that I feel that the fight was a lot more close than a unanimous decision. I think it could have been split, or maybe even majority, because I think Isanua really did fantastic in the fight. Powerful, durable, never really got rocked, even though Deco was walking him down the whole time. My big take from this fight, and this is where the hot take comes in, is that I feel Deco, I wouldn't be surprised if this fight gets overturned in a couple of months' time, if we hear this fight gets overturned and Deco gets banned for enhancements for some kind of substance. And I tell you why. I looked at his energy in the fight, right? And some would say it's adrenaline, some would say it's just hype for the fight, right? but it's a rematch. You fought this guy already. You shouldn't be that hyped for beating someone you already beat. You know what I mean? Like you whooped his ass already, and now you're fighting him again, and you celebrating in a way that it was like it was a title fight. That's number one. Number two, the energy levels of Deco displayed of a person that is boosting on something, right? He never got tired once. He was in a grueling fight. Isanu took it to him, made him fight a very grueling fight, right? He was screaming in between rounds like he's powering up as a Super Saiyan. And at the end of the fight, he was running around the fucking cage as if he was boosted with energy, didn't look tired, didn't take a single breath. Yes, there are a lot of athletes that are able to have that kind of stamina and gas tank, right? But with a performance like that and that type of fight that he was in against Isanu, you should be exhausted. You should be tired because it was a grueling fight. It took a lot out of both guys. But he was looking like someone that was just getting fired up each round. Each time the fight went into the 30 seconds break and came back, he just looked like he was revved up another level. There was just more to him. The way that he shaped, the lack of body fat. Again, I know that he's an athlete, so he's a fighter. He's supposed to look that lean. But dude, this man just looked like he was on some kind of enhancement that was just boosting his energy. It's like every single moment, every single time a new round started, it was like he was a different level. It was just like he just looked like he was charging up for another level to go to every single time. And I just thought to myself, a little bit fishy. I looked a little bit fishy. Look, I don't have any stock in either of these two athletes because I only watched them fight once before this. So I don't really have that much stock in terms of who I can favor. So there's no biasness to either guy. But I do watch combat sports with a very much like a microscope kind of goggle. Really pay attention to body language of athletes. What are their go-to moves when they're facing adversity? Like, what is the buzz? And the type of stuff that Isanu was landing on him and the kind of things that he was landing on Deco. Deco should have been out of there, or at least should have been slowed down by taking that kind of damage. But he didn't look like he was taking any damage, even though all those things were landing on him. And he was beaten up at the end of the fight. You could see that the wear and tear was on his face. But the body language highlighted an individual that wasn't taking any damage. He looked like he was just like he was being scratched by Isanu, and that's insane to say because Isanu throws a lot of heat. But anyway, good rematch nonetheless. It was very much a fantastic fight for the card. I thought it was back and forth like a lot of the fights, and that was one of the 3 decision wins. Honestly, I wouldn't really be upset if they must run this fight back, but I just don't think it's warranted. It's 2-0 now to Deco. I don't think there's anything that Isanu can do to warrant the third fight against him. Deco pretty much just stamped the authority then, but like, this fight is finished. Like, we don't have to go back in. However, I will still reserve my opinions and reservations about Deco just because I'm a bit skeptical about that doping situation. I don't know if it's true. There's no articles about it. This is just my opinion. But let me know your thoughts in the comments about that fight. I thought it was fantastic. I would love to see both these guys fight again. Not each other, but someone else. But give them new opponents to go at. But I'd love to see them fight again in the fight as we progress into the future of the One Championship. But I just feel like Deco might be juicing just a little bit, just ever so slightly. I think it might be juiced a little bit. But okay, let me know your thoughts in the comments, please, ladies and gentlemen. Just conducting a quick speed test here because my internet is dipping, which is a bit bothersome. I need this to work out because we are doing a live a bit later this evening. So hopefully this doesn't continue as we progress. But anyway, let's keep it moving down the list of the fight card because there's a lot to get through. Paim, he took on Namsurin, and this was also balls up, just a fascinating banger of a fight. Ended in the second round. Namsurin won by KO, and the dude's tough. And I thought it was going to be a difficult fight for him, and it was for the first round. Paim utilized that height really well. He was establishing his jab, countering really well. Namsurin was like a bull, just walking down and throwing some heavy heat. But Paim did a good job at evading that and stepping out of the corner and using some good footwork to get into range, blast the body kicks. And to a degree, I think he was slightly edged that first round, just ever so slightly. I think that it still looked worrisome signs for me, just because when the round ended, Paim looked a little bit, not gassed, but there was a look in his eye of like, sheesh. When this Namsurin guy is a bit tough and he's got the durability and the power behind him, and when he's stocky and he's just got good speed as well. And Paim's eyes just looked to me like he didn't like the way the round was ending. because he was throwing a lot of heavy stuff at Namsurin, and Namsurin didn't. It didn't fade him. He just kept walking forward. So then when the second round began, it was more of the same, right? Namsurin was walking him down. But this time the pace revved up. The pace went up a notch from Namsurin. He started going at him a little bit quicker, established some good boxing combinations. What I liked about what Namsurin did was he attacked the body first, bam, 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 and then came up to the head, and he was doing it really, really well. And those body shots were setting up some left hooks. Again, Payim was doing what he does, which is the counter elbows, stepping out of the line, reversing the positions, getting Nurim's Namsurin back against the cage, against the ropes, which I thought was brilliant, right? I think that was a good tactic from him to kind of stay out of danger. But Namsurin eventually, once he noticed that he stepped out of range and started winning the outside foot battle, landing some body kicks, and then setting up again. There was a moment where he landed two hard left straights or left like shovel uppercuts to the face that Payim didn't like, because when he landed, he walked back and he looked really dizzy. He was like, okay, his steps are taking a little bit heavy. And then when Namsurin entered the pocket again, he just blasted some body shots. And then Payim just couldn't recover from that body shots, ultimately dropping to the ground and couldn't make that 8 count. And then that was really a good fight, good finish from Namsurin as well. And I'm quite intrigued by the young man, by the guy. I mean, he's a young man. I think he is young, 29 years old. Power puncher, good speed, 117 pounds. What's that, like 53 kilos? There we go. So that's he's close to that atom weight, just under the flyweight, into the atom weight, basically. That's no strawweights, strawweight. So that's really good. And then we know the strawweight division is starting to get very stacked. Everyone's always been stacked, but we've seen a lot more strawweight fights. I think Namsurin is going to be a good fighter to see, because Payim has been knocking people out. He was 3-0 in the one championship, and then Namsurin was 4-0. And I think that if they can, both of them, Payim can still come back from this. But for Namsurin, I think if he continues on the streak, he's going to be a puzzle, man. He's going to be a big puzzle for that strawweight division. I like his style. I really do. I just want to see more of him so I can see what he looks like when he's getting tested, right? When someone is really putting him in some deep waters. Because Payim tried it, but he had a really good counter to that, and that was to reclaim that foot battle that he was winning, and that ultimately allowed him to land his strikes the way he wanted to. Great performance, just absolutely great performance. But let's keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. By another fight that was just back and forth. Big ups to Sunday for coming back. I think he lost the fight, but big ups to Sunday for winning the fight. Deonatha Santos Tobias, I think, did a really good job in that first round. I mean, he had Sunday clutching for straws there. Clutching for straws. They're just begging for the fight, for the round to end as quickly as possible, because what was happening was Santos Tobias was just brilliant with that handwork, boxing combinations, just it was like in this flow state, uppercut into a right hand, good flow state. I liked what I saw, and even when Sunday was throwing stuff back at him, he would just evade from it in a very nice, almost nonchalant way. Just bang, goes back in again, and then he landed some heavy body shots, which had Sunday crumbling. Like he was literally going down, like holding his stomach in, and look good as him for standing on his feet, because he could have been dropped. And there was moments where you could see him wanting to go down, but he just kept standing. And Santos was really, I like what I saw from both guys in moments in this fight. But Santos didn't deplete his gas tank in that first round. Once he saw Sunday was very much that close to getting finished, he was just piecing up the body, throwing some knees, but also stepped back to recover, to see what Sunday is going to do, and then go back in. And he didn't really let go of everything just that moment. And then Sunday made the bell, went into the second round, and he fought back well in that second round. Sunday came back in the fight, but I think what made him come back into the fight was that Santos Tobias was getting tired, and you could see him slowing down in that second round. I still think Santos won that second round because he did land more strikes, right? But there was less pop in the shots now. He was a little bit weaker with that shots, and he was a bit slower, but he was still defending and evading some of Sunday's moves really well in that second round. So I would have gone down 1 round to Santos, right? Going into the third round, it was undeniable that Santos won. That Sunday won that third round. He was by far the fresher fighter. Even towards the end of that second round, you could see Sunday was the fresher fighter. He took over. I would give Sunday the last 45 to 50 seconds of that second round, he turned the fight completely into his favor. Like, he was the one going forward. He was landing the body shots. He was landing the shots to the head. He was just putting on a clinic, and you could see Santos was really getting gassed. Then they went into the third round, and Santos was completely gassed. And just like Sunday, Santos managed to survive that third round. I don't know how he managed to survive it, but he did. Sunday was just putting it on him, having Santos backed up against the ropes, gave him no space to move, just smothered him for that third round, landing some damaging blows in the clinch, good elbows, good uppercuts, stepped out, just basically reversed what Santos was doing back to him in that third round. And they gave the fight to Sunday. They gave him the fight. He was close to being finished in the first round. I would have gone 10-8 that first round. I don't know how they gave Sunday the fight after losing the first round, basically 10-8 to me. My second round was very much close, but I still tip it towards Santos because of the more activity and actually landing more and being more active successfully for a longer portion of the 3 minutes of that second round. And then there's no, you can't deny that the last minute of that second round, that Sunday was the stronger and came on better fighter. He won that last minute, but he didn't win the whole round. So for me, that second round, I would say 70-30 going to Santos in terms of percentage won, right, of that second round. Then in the third round, Sunday won that third round. I won't say it's a 10-8 in that third round, but he definitely won it. So in that regard, Santos should be winning the fight by having more points scored over the duration of the fight, but he didn't, unfortunately. And Sunday won the fight. It made for a spectacle. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be salty here. I just think, how do you score that, right? But it did make for a fascinating bout between the two guys. Spectacle fight. Great card. Great fight. And I would love to see both of them fight again. I think I've seen Sunday fight before, but Jonathan Santos Tobias, I would love to see this dude fight again. He's got a good talent there, and I think he'll be a good fighter for that strawweight division. Could even give him someone like Elias Barboza. That would be a very good fight between the two of them. I would love to watch that one. But dude, remember this name of Santos Tobias. He's got a good talent there. Even though he lost the fight, I still think there's something to watch there for me. But okay, let me know your thoughts about that one, because obviously you can tell that I don't agree with the decision. Not to be sort of a salty or just like, it's just more of like what I saw. I didn't think Sunday won the fight. But if you think he won the fight, you know where the comment section is. Give me your thoughts, give me your points, why you think Sunday won, what he did right, and what Santos didn't do right. But yeah, I just think out of the 3 rounds, 2 of the rounds went to Santos. But okay, we keep it moving. Finally, they fixed the picture of this fight card because both these guys had the same picture. They had Petwiset's picture was on both fighters. Great fight again. Another finish in the second round. Rangpet, he took on Petwiset. This was 130 pounds. They just under the bantamweight, if I'm not mistaken. No, they're just under the flyweight mark. Yeah, there we go. Great fight. Rangpet was trying to be the one that was doing the dictating in this fight in the first round, looking to utilize his little bit of actually he didn't have reach advantage. Petwiset had the reach advantage here. But Rangpet was definitely trying to be the one that dictate the pace, because he had Petwiset on the back foot that first round. But Petwiset did a really good job of not really taking any damage. He wasn't in any way, shape or form taking any sort of danger and damage. He was using high guard, all this distance really well. Didn't throw much in that first round, but I think he was just trying to establish sort of his range and see what the distance is like and what Rangpet's going to throw at him. That's what it looked like to me. And then when the second round started, boom, immediately both guys started going at each other. Now we put the pace on. Now we start going for our shots, right? And I think it wasn't even a long exchange before Petwiset landed a beautiful shovel uppercut. Right uppercuts, beautiful, and it came into a nice counter position as well, because before it happened, Rangpet was really like throwing stuff and just trying to be active and be pacey, and he wanted to start the car crashes, right? And then when he did do that, Petwiset just literally stepped back once and then just threw the straight uppercut, straight bang on Rangpet's face, and it knocked him out. There was no 8 count, nothing. It was flat on the ground, knocked out, no 8 count. And Petwiset just got a flash, like I would say probably one of the, I would say knockout of the night. I think, what's his name? The fight Asadullah, which I'm going to talk about next, his knockout was really brilliant. Petwitset's knockout was beautiful to watch. And then obviously Yodlekpet's knockout also was top notch. But I think Petwitset for me looked the most stylish, even though I think Asadullah's one was set up the most brilliant one. But dude, great fight from Petwitset. I would say go watch this fight. I'll put the link in the description to the fight card. Go watch this fight. I thought it was a good display of counter striking from Petwitset because Rangpet was throwing at him some very wild and things that can knock out people if you don't see it, and he was just able to dodge everything. He was like, have it. But great fight. Let's keep it moving. Notice I'm not really giving my thoughts on who they should be fighting next because a lot of these guys are fairly new, right? So they're going to be fighting a lot of new opponents up until they have like a win streak, and then they'll probably get someone that's a little bit more noticeable in terms of names. But good fight from both guys. But I think Petwitset really stepped it up in that second round. Then we had the featured bout on the undercard. Denputhai taking on Asadula Imangazaliev, and this was high pace. I was looking forward to it because Denputhai obviously fighting at the Superlek jump. Superlek was there, was in the corner of Denputhai as well. Flyweight Muay Thai, I think I'm going to say this now. Asadullah is going to be a problem for that flyweight division. I think that flyweight Muay Thai division is, if Asadullah is able to stay healthy, have good weight cuts, because he's still very young. I think he's only 22 or something like that. Let me just double check here. 21 years old. So I expect to see him in the future. And the only risk I will say for him is as he gets older, he's going to obviously put on more muscle. So he's probably going to go up a weight. But in the meantime, while he's still there, I think the flyweight division needs to watch out for this dude because he's a special guy. I did see some flaws. I'll highlight those flaws now in the moment. But in the nutshell, top fighter. Denputhai was immediately when the fight started, you could see he was outmatched in terms of height and speed. There was something Asadullah did really well, which was he chopped the calves. He chopped the calves in a way that you see the Japanese fighters do it. They chop the calves the way you don't want to step on that front foot anymore because your calf is just dead. Your legs are just dead from that calves, right? And that calf kick was setting up a lot of Asadullah's strikes. The elbows, the spinning back elbows, the body shots, clips, boxing combinations. Denputhai was trying to headhunt to get back, right? He was trying to really just hook, headhunt. And a fighter like Asadullah that's going to throw at you a lot of kickboxing styles, you don't want to do that. You don't want to just chase him down with hooks so that you can get close to distance with the hooks. And then if you land one of those hooks, it's going to maybe drop your opponent. I get that, right? It's power shots. But let me give you some analogy here. And if you are a gamer and fight games like Street Fighter, for example, right? You will get this analogy. In those fighting games, you have your 6 buttons, right? It's your light punch, heavy punch, light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, light kick, medium kick, heavy kick, right? All of those different things, those different weapons have different speeds. So your light punch will be a 2-frame or a 1-frame punch, very quick, right? Your medium punch will obviously have more damage, but it will take more frames to throw, maybe 6 or 7 frames, right? And then your heavy punch will obviously have maximum damage, but it'll take a lot more frames for you to throw it. So meaning that it will take longer for it to land, and it'll also be longer for you to return into a stance, which means you're open for counters. So what Denputhai was doing was throwing a lot of heavy punches to close the distance, right? If those land, you'll possibly knock Asadullah out or rock him or even get a knockdown. But it also leaves you open because you're requiring more energy and more distance, more movement to throw that punch rather than doing something shorter, which Asadullah was doing. So he knew that this guy's coming into me with hooks. I could just step out of the way and throw a check elbow or a short check uppercut, shovel hook or something like that, or even just a jab, cut an angle, throw a jab, and then 1-2. All those things are medium to light punches, right? Require less frames, but they're going to land most likely more often than those heavy punches, and that's what Denputhai had issues with. He was trying to close the distance with heaviness, heavy punches, heavy kicks. Asadullah was just like, this is not going to land. I see it coming the whole time. And he was a lot faster, a lot taller, and utilized that range really well. So when axe kick, the moment where he threw an axe kick, missed the axe kick, spinning back elbow was immediately the next move. I chained that combination together, was brilliant. spinning back elbow barely landed on Denputhai, like landed between his guard, like somewhere over here, and then knocked him down. It knocked him down. He got back up. He was a very dizzy fighter after that. And then he basically, when the finishing sequence came in, Asadullah just walked him down, threw up, double hook to the body, bang, bang, and then came up with the same arm, hook to the head, landed that hook, and then dropped Denputhai, finishing the fight right there in the second round. Brilliant performance from Asadullah. Got a cool bonus. Didn't get the contract. I think he should get the contract. I think he's going to be a puzzle for that flyweight Muay Thai division. Now, that being said, let me highlight where I think there's moments where he didn't look that good. When Denputhai did get into the clinching positions and did land some knees in the clinching positions, Asadullah didn't like it. The look on his face was a little bit of discomfort. He didn't entertain that at all. So I think that could be a keys to victory for some of the athletes is you could calf kick him back, right? You could calf kick him back the same way, make him slow down a little bit. When Asadullah doesn't get his way, he doesn't fight back really well. And when you get into that clinching positions and you throw some knees and elbows and things like that, Asadullah didn't look very comfortable in that positions there. So I think that could be something that his future opponents could take when they watch the tape. It's not a lot of tape where you see him in trouble, but I could see again looking at athletes' faces, they give you signs in their eyes when they are uncomfortable. And Denputhai did for brief moments showcase that if you take him into the clinching positions and he put his back up against the cage, against the ropes, he doesn't look very comfortable there. So there's something to see. There's something to see. I mean, again, he's only 21, right? So there's going to be holes. But dude, if he keeps fighting the way that he does, I expect him to be a future champion, and I expect him to be one of the toughest guys for people to beat. He's one of the very few Russian-based fighters in the One Championship that are consistent with their weight cuts. Don't really have issues there. So let's see, dude. He's one to watch for the future. I would love to see him go up against someone like a Estupinan, Akif Kulazada, someone like that. I think some of those prospects would be a good fight for him and a good test as well. But dude, he's one to watch. He's definitely one to watch in the future. But okay, let me know in the comments who you think you would like to see Asadullah fight next. As for Denputhai, no worries there. You come back stronger. You took on someone that I feel like would be a difficult fight for anyone in that flyweight division. So no shame there. This is probably my pick for fight of the night. As we move down the card, I think this is my pick for fight of the night. Nongfasai took on Francisca Vera, and Francisca Vera won the fight by unanimous decision. I think it was a good call by the judges. Nongfasai is a tough fight, dude. She's high pace, powerful punching, good counter striking, very durable. But I just think that, like I said in the preview, I just think Francisca Vera's type of fight is the fight that can make it difficult for a lot of ladies, right? Because she beat Vera by outstriking her, outdogging her, outstamining her, game planning, utilizing jabs, utilizing elbows. Francisca Vera fights brilliantly, and I think that what we've seen from her now is a fighter that's really trying to show One Championship that you need to give me this contract. You gave Vera a contract. She lost to me. She came back sooner than me, and she beat someone that was kind of a layup fight for her, if we're being honest, right? It was kind of a layup fight for Vera. Whereas this fight here, I wouldn't even say this is a layup for Francisca Vera. I think Nongfasai had a very good chance at beating Vera. Especially if you think about how that first round went. I think Francisca Vera lost that first round. I think Nongfasai beat her. Nongfasai was cleaner in the strikes, landed some good overhands, good elbows. She even cut Vera open in that first round. And I think she fought a fantastic fight. But when the fight went on to second and third round, we all kind of knew that Francisca Vera was going to take over, right? Because this is where she puts the pace on you and she starts to level up the game plan. And she started landing some more jabs, some elbows when Nongfasai would come in, cutting Nongfasai up, puffing up the right eye, technically closing the right eye like that, just off that elbows. And then also the clinch, dude. The clinch was devastating because when she did go to the clinch, which was very frequent in this fight, she was kneeing Nongfasai into oblivion. Kneeing her to the point that Nongfasai didn't know how to counter it. All she would do was just, when they got into the clinch and Francisca Vera would land the knees, Nongfasai would let it just turn her entire body, giving Francisca Vera her back, because she just didn't want to take those knees anymore. And that was more of the same in the third round as well. In the third round, like when I got in the third round, I would say for 2 minutes of that third round, Vera was just dogging her the whole time, just putting on that pace, just moving away in the scorecards. But then she got a little bit tired, and then Nongfasai, you could see she was just like, I need to fight back. And then she was going hard. You could almost see she was responding to her coaches in the corner, just to like fight back, throw her overhand or something, just hit her back hard. And that's exactly what Nongfasai did. She just put her head down, put down on that mouthpiece, and just started slugging back. She's like, I'm just gonna hit you back as hard as I can. And I did actually move Francisca Vera backwards. And I thought it just made for a spectacle for me. It was a back and forth fight from the first round. But Francisca Vera, personally, I think they should give her a contact now. I think she's a problem for that division. I don't see her as the future champion just yet, because of who the current champion is. I don't know who's gonna beat Michael Alicia Helen Rodriguez, but I do believe that Francisca Vera should be in that top 5. And I feel like she should get the run back against Hirkowen next, and they could probably give Vero, or they could give Vero Hirkowen, and then for Francisco Vera, they just wait it out a little bit, and she could get maybe the loser of who did Rodriguez beat. Let me just quickly see who Rodriguez beat last. I know it was a layup for Rodriguez as well in the last fight. But that lady she fought in the last fight could definitely be Francisco Vera's next opponent. And that could definitely catapult her into contracted status and possibly fight for a title next. Marie McManaman, that could be Francisco Vera's next opponent. And then we could see, what's her name? Nico Vero take on the winner between... because I know I'm saying the winner between Rodriguez and who Rodriguez is going to be fighting next. What's her name? Pearson. I just don't know if that should be the next fight, because I do believe Rodriguez is going to win the next fight quite easily. And then I would say keep Elena Rodriguez Pekchicha, and then the winner of that or the loser of that fight could get Vero or Vera, one of the two. Because I do believe that these ladies have warranted themselves a title fight. Both Vero and Vera have warranted themselves a title fight, if I'm being honest there. But Nongfasai, she's not going anywhere. I'd love to see her come back. She's out of a top gym in PK Senchai. So, yeah. But that was my fight of the night. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got any other thoughts about these two ladies, let me know in the comments. For now, we will keep it moving. Between a fight, Donny Smith, this was his debut, only 19 years old, fighting out of the UK, taking on Masic Kapinsky. There we go. Kapinsky, lightweight Muay Thai, which is a very good division that's starting to get revved up again, right? Since we have a title fight coming up with Reagan Ursel versus G-Unit and George Jarvis. We just saw my guy, Ariana Esparza, beat Ricardo Bravo 2 weeks ago. So lightweight Muay Thai is starting to show up. Liam Noden lost against Abel Fassel. There's some good fights happening, so I'm very excited to see more of the lightweight division. In terms of how this fight played out, not much to take away. Donny Smith looked a bit nervous for me. Excuse me, his frame was a bit stiff. His stance was a bit stiff in how he fought the fight, and I didn't like it because his countering wasn't really there. Kapinsky was able to do what he wanted to do at will, and he actually dropped Donny, I think, three times in the first round. And I feel like they should have stopped the fight there already, because the third knockdown in that fight, in that first round, was a second before the bell went, right? And then on commentary, Achilles was still saying, literally saved by the bell. I disagree on that. I think that if we're going by the technical rules, they actually gave this boy saving grace there, because Donny Smith was knocked down. And then when he got knocked down, there was a beautiful elbow, by the way. When he got knocked down, the ball went ding, and no, I lied. It's not that fight. It's the fight that happened before this one. He just got double knocked down in that first round, and he was able to recover. And save himself in that first round. In the second round, it was just a bit tough for him because you could see he was still a bit dazed. And every time Kapinsky would come in, he would take an angle, hit the body, come up with a left hook, and I would drop Donny every time. Donny had no counter for this. He had no way of how to figure out how to get away from that left uppercut, or because it was in the angle, it wasn't traditional, man, and it also came from a body shot first. So I think Kapinsky fights really well. Look, he took an elbow in that fight, which did cut him open, but it didn't hurt him. He was still doing what he wanted to do really well, and he was really moving brilliantly in this fight. And I want to see more of him. I think he's a Dog Donny Smith, I think he was just nervous. I think he just looked very nervous for me. So we probably will see him again. You could get someone like Ricardo Bravo. You could get someone like Abul Fasl next. But for someone like what's his name, Kapinsky, I'm not too sure who they should be giving him next. That was his debut fight as well. So let's see what they give him next. I'm not too sure who, but let me know in the comments who you think these two guys should be getting next. We'll move on. So this fight between Ayub Al Kadrawi take on Kaisi Sato. This was actually the fight where there was a triple knockdown, and that third knockdown was literally a second before the bell, and they gave saving grace to Sato. I feel like they could have stopped the fight right there because he didn't look like he was going to come back from it. Al Kadrawi was just looking like an absolute machine. The types of strikes that he was throwing, high kick, straight high kick. He was just doing some off the same line, by the way, so off the same side. He would throw a high kick, right high kick, and then still throw a right straight immediately. Or he will reverse that move, and then the second time he throws it, it will be a right straight and then a high kick immediately afterwards. And Sato didn't know how to do anything about this. Sato also entered the pocket in a way with leaving his chin up too high, opening up his guard, leaving himself susceptible for counters. I mean, there was a counter left hook that dropped him. I think it was a second knockdown. I don't know how Sato even came back from that one, but he did. When the second round started, it was more of the same stuff. I think Al Kadrawi just walked him down. And landed things at will. Basically, just throwing some heavy haymakers, some good knees, knocking Sato back. But then the referee literally could see that Sato wasn't going to make it back, and then didn't even give him a count. Just waved it off and like, nah, let's just call this fight right here. And also, that was the most noise in the stadium for Ayub Al Kadrawi when he won that fight. There was a lot of noise in the stadium. Fans were cheering and singing songs and like bouncing up and down for him. And I just thought, nah, well done. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. I think he's a good fighter. I think that 157 pounds is indicating to me that that's also lightweight. So look out, lightweight division. We could get a star in our hands here. If he fights anything more like that, I think he's going to be a sick fighter to watch. So yeah, I think I like what Adrian Esparza does. I could be biased because he likes and subscribes to our channel, but I think Al Kadrawi is going to be a tough fight for anyone in that division, dude. I would love to see him go up against someone like Ricardo Bravo first before he gets a fighter like, let's say, Adrian Esparza, for example, who's been on a bit of a streak at the moment. Nongfasai is also there. I know he's got a fight coming up soon. Who else can be fighting in this division? Let me know in the comments. I can't think on top of my head right now, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's quickly go here. World champions, lightweight Muay Thai, Reagan Urso. So I'm just trying to see who other lightweight Muay Thai athletes. I know there's Sun Mittel in me, but I don't rate the guy that much, man. He's been too much on a losing streak. Asuik. Yes, that's the guy. There's Nazwa Trujillo, Yusuf Asuik. That's my guy. He's fighting someone. He's fighting Nontacha, I think. No. But anyway, that could be someone we could see going up against the likes of Al Kadrawi. I know it's high ranked opponents, but that performance that Al Kadrawi left in that ring for me was like, I want to see more of this kid. He looks fascinating to me. Okay, but in the meantime, we'll keep it moving. Jason Moralpes took on Yirzati, and this was also a great fight. Just because I liked what I saw from Jason. Jason is a pure striker. You can see he's got the Muay Thai style, right? Fighting in MMA. And what he worked on really well is he's obviously takedown defense, and I loved how he was able to defend all the takedowns from Yirzati. Yirzati was doing a lot of panic shooting, panic wrestling, because immediately when the fight started, Jason Moralpes landed a body kick and like a few body kicks, and they were hard and flashy. And Yirzati didn't like it. He was just like, oh shit, immediately went for takedowns because he just didn't want to stand in the pocket of Jason, and Jason was just piecing him up. But Jason, what was more impressive about this fight wasn't even his striking. It was he was able to defend takedowns, get the hooks immediately, get his hips away, reverse his opponent, scoot his hooks away, get off the ropes, get back into the center of the ring, and let that hands and feet go. And he did that phenomenally. Ultimately, when he did get back to the he was defending the takedowns, you could see Rizati he was discouraged and he was like, oh damn it. And he just kept his guard up, trying to defend as much as he could, but those body kicks just finished him, dropped him to the ground. And then once he got to the ground, Jason was just landing some heavy, brutal ground and pound, ultimately getting his hand raised. And making me go, I want to see more of him. I want to see definitely more of him. He looks really good. Strawweight MMA. Joshua Pacquiao, also out of the Philippines, is the current champion. I think Jason Morales is going to be a top fighter for that division. I don't know who we should be getting next, but I do think that going forward, I think he will be entering a top 5 very, very soon. If he fights anything like that in the future, he will be a top fighter. Granted that if you look at all the fighters in that top 5 of the flyweight rankings, there's Sanzo Zakharov. I don't think he's in that division anymore. There's Kaito Yamakita, Hiroba Minowa. I think he should probably go into top 5 after this. Bokang Musenane, Mansour Malachayev, Jared Brooks, Joshua Pacquiao. All of those fighters are predominant wrestlers. That's what they do. You know what I mean? So Jason Morales is going to have a really difficult time when he gets into that top 5. But if he fights anything like he does, he's going to be a tough guy for a lot of guys there. Good fight. Good fighter. Yeah, he beat up Birzati in a very fascinating way. And then the opening bout, we saw Sadur Karim Bawev taking on Roman Popov. This was debutants for both guys. Fight didn't really go that far. They immediately both went to grapple within that first minute, scrambling on the ground. Then Sadur basically got a rubber guard, switched into a triangle, immediately locked that triangle in. Roman tried to get out of it, trying to escape, doing the right things. But when they got to the ground, Sadur basically just switched from that triangle into an armbar, leveraged the hips, basically forcing Roman Popov to tap out, getting himself a very first round submission win. And that was really a good fight, by the way. And that was basically the whole fight card was just first, second round finishes right through. And that's why I thought it was very entertaining. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. Thank you for making it so far. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are officially monetized. So you will see that heart with the dollar sign next to our videos when you watch them. Please don't be so shy to drop a nice thanks, because we just love the support. All the donations that will come in, all the money that will be coming in from all the super chats and supers that comes in, that's going to help us get to our next goal, which is ultimately be able to go to Thailand and get to watch a live one championship event, and then do an episode from there, maybe interview some fighters, just up the content. You know what I mean? That's what we want to do here, is make this platform for us become a conversation where we can, come in and report on one championship in a little bit more of a intimate way, where we're actually there in the land of Thailand, and we get to interview the fighters more frequently and bring you guys some more insights along with what Nick Atkin is doing and the Bangkok Post, just something else outside of the Thailand universe, make it more global. And that's what each a little bit of those donations do. Doesn't only allow us to level up our content and, for example, we can get rid of this StreamYard logo in the top left corner, right corner. All those kind of things can be changed every time we get close to that mark, every time you guys do a little bit of a donation. But anyway, thank you so much. You guys can have a fantastic weekend. Stay tuned. We will be doing a live a little bit later today for UFC Fight Night Bakur, Khalil Roundtree taking on Jamal Hill. So stay tuned for that. On that note, have a blessed one. See you then at that live. Take care. Cheers.
Right, fires, let's go. Are you ready?